Hi everyone, and welcome to part 2 of Citrus Saturday. Scott Winard here at Let's Do Bonsai, and here we have the small lemon tree that we're going to defoliate, prune back and repot into this rather charming little pot. So let's get on with that now. So the first thing we will do is we will defoliate the tree. This tree was in with the larger lemon tree that we defoliated earlier on, so this has similar issues with some of the leaves. It's been partially covered with the insects, so defoliation, prune and repot just to do away with any unwanted insects. Defoliation on this one is going to be really quick because there's not many leaves to take off. You'll see that some of the leaves are rather big, and that's because they've been growing indoors despite the fact that they're in the tent, and I think at times because of the larger trees they have struggled to get some light. So there we go, that was nice and easy for defoliation. We're not going to panic about clearing that up just yet. Let's have a look at the branch structure that we've got to work with. And the main trunk comes up, branches into two, and then we've got multiple branches coming up just afterwards. And I think we can get rid of this smaller one and we can leave this one in for now to help thicken up the branch as it grows. The trunk carries on all the way up to the top, and I think because of the work that we're doing today, we'll take this part of the tree off and leave it with one main trunk coming up and then this trunk coming off, or this branch, sorry, coming off to the side. So there's a bit of a leaf scar here, and then it branches into two here and here, but we're going to take it back to here. That's all the decisions that we can really make with this for this time. So now let's take this young fella out of his pot. Lots of nice roots there, and we'll comb away the soil, find out where the root plane is. Looks like it was nice and deep in the soil. We'll just clean out the roots. I don't think we'll be doing too much drastic trimming to these roots because they're in a nice little, they're actually in nice condition. So we'll just get the soil away from the roots. I'll just go and wash these up, and we'll come back and pot it into its new bonsai pot. So this is the tree with the roots clean. There is still a bit of soil right in the middle, but we're not going to worry too much about that. And all we really need to do at this stage is make it so that the roots come out in a radial pattern. So we'll just see how these few roots are radially positioned by just combing out what we've got. And we've just got some that are coming off a little bit more vigorous than the rest, so we'll just do ever such a small bit of profile pruning just to equalize the vigor in the roots. We're not going to take out any more than that. We're not going to take out any of the top roots. We're not going to worry about roots that are going up, roots that are going down too much. We'll get it into a bonsai pot and then set it on its journey to becoming a bonsai. So we've got this little pot. It's got 2 drainage holes in the bottom, so some of our preformed drainage screens, and drop them into the bottom, and some soil, scoop a layer into the bottom, and then we'll take our little tree, and I think if I was to choose a front, that would be the front. So we'll plant it just off centre, so the top heavy side of the branching has somewhere to go off to, and we'll quickly fill this in with bonsai soil. We'll just do some chopstick work just to make sure that we're in amongst all the roots. It is standing ever so slightly on its own, so it has worked into the roots, and we will build up the soil a little bit around the trunk, etc., just to make sure that we've got that little bit of stability. Just shake the tree up and down just to let the bits fall in. That's actually going in well, that. It is standing up nicely on its own. We'll get plenty more soil around it. All the way around. And that will do. So that was a nice easy work with the tree. We will give it some water, and then we'll put it somewhere nice and safe where hopefully the roots will go back in. We'll get some foliage coming out at the top, and it will go well on its way to becoming a nice lemon tree bonsai. So we'll just get some water. So here's the water. We'll run it in nice and gently. You can hear it soaking up the water. It's running out at the bottom straight away, so it's flowing through nicely. We'll just rescue the tools again. water going through the perlite and being soaked up by the other particles that form the bonsai soil. So we'll just keep running it through. It's coming through quite cloudy at the moment, so there's plenty of little particles in there that just need to be sifted through, be watered through until it's running clear. Seems to be clearing now. We can still see the traces of the dusty particles. But that's it. It's quite happy. There's all the little dust particles that come through the bottom of the pot as we water it through. And I will just put it on its drip tray there. And we'll just clear this away and then we'll come back and give it another water. So here we are, still back with the smaller lemon tree, and we'll just use the squeezy water bottle to give it its final water through. It's running through nicely, I can see it coming out. There is still a little bit of dust particles coming through. But it's running clear now. So we'll let that settle. Looking good. So that's the lemon tree bonsai started and on its way on a long journey. Now it's time to do the other smaller bonsai, the little orange tree. We'll get that out and give that the same treatment. So here we are with the small orange tree, and we can see quite a bit more of the damage by the insects that have been around. We've got a lot of blackening of the leaves, but it has been putting out some good growth to the top, so I'm confident that a defoliation and a prune and a repot, this should carry on, and we should be able to set this well on its way to being a bonsai also. So let's get straight stuck in with defoliation of the orange tree. Defoliating it, leaving a little bit of the petiole on. It is a bit top heavy, this little fella. We'll get it defoliated, get rid of the leaves. I think this one will get a bit of a spray because there's quite a bit of the evidence of the bugs that we've had. we'll get rid of all the blackened leaves or sooted leaves as we can. Not too many leaves, so it's not a long time to defoliate this. So there we are, it's all defoliated. And as you can see, it did have some blackening of the leaves and some marks on the leaves. See the sootiness of it, and then on the back of the leaves you can see the marks of whatever's been crawling around underneath. So we'll just decide what we're going to have branch structure wise. It comes up, goes into 2, it then goes into 2 here, 2 again here, comes up here and goes into 2. Kind of like that flow, little bit tall, but I don't really want to take it back too far, so I think we'll just, where it goes into 2 here, it then goes into 2 again here, and then goes into 2 again here, and then this one's a bit longer. So we'll just take that one back, and then up here, this trunk goes up and then splits into 2 here, and then there's nothing else after it happening up there. So we'll just take it back to that leaf scar there, and then we might get something happening back down, but we've got something to work with as we go forward. So I'm going to give this a quick wash with the toothbrush. I'll go and do that over at the sink, just to clean up anything that might be there, and then we'll come back, we'll get it out of its pot and repot it. So we're back with the little orange tree, nice and clean. We'll just lift it out of its pot, and we can see there we've got lots of nice roots running around the edge of that pot. So we'll just once again scrape the soil away, starting from the top, working on a radial pattern. And it'll be interesting to see how far we go down before we get to the main root plane, because we're still going. I think we've just hit some root coming off the edge of the trunk there. So that was probably about ½ an inch before we hit the bottom of the root. And now we're just going to have to work around to get the soil from the bottom and work that soil away from the root. There does seem to be quite a lot of root coming straight down, so we'll probably have to trim quite a bit of that away, unfortunately. But there's lots of roots coming out to the side also. But it looks like we've got a fairly decent root set up to begin to work with, so hopefully that's a good sign for the future. All we've got to do is get this tree through the next period of its life of being hacked to pieces and the roots being messed about with and being pulled to within an inch of its life, and then expecting it to to live. So that's about as much as I can get with the root rake. I'll take this across and just clean off the roots as best I can. We'll clear this away and then we'll be back with some nice clean roots and a pot to put it in. So here we are back with the orange tree with the roots mostly cleaned out. We've got a number of roots down the bottom here that are going to have to come off because they go down and they go downwards in quite a hard fashion. So we're literally just going to go straight across that like that with the pruners, and then that's going to be our planting level. And then if we just rake and see what we've got for the roots, they're not too bad. There's one that swings around the whole way, so as that makes its turn, I'm just going to trim that off and that can come away. And then as a result of that, we've got a few that are just a bit outside the roots. So we've taken it back to as far as we can. We've got some roots that are dropping straight down from within this ball mass that we have here. We've taken them off, which has given us a planting position to go inside this smaller pot. We'll make it so that the roots can go inside there without taking any more off, and we'll let it settle in here for probably about 12 months and then we'll repot it again into a larger pot. So we'll just grab our pot that we're putting it in, our little drainage screens to go into the bottom to cover the drainage holes, a scoop of soil just to go in the bottom, there we go. And then I'd already selected this as the front, so we'll just get the roots down and into the pot and get the soil around the roots. We'll just work that in a bit as best we can. Lots of space within that root mass, so it should just, a lot of it will just disappear. You can see some roots sticking up where it's disappearing into the root ball. So we'll just work that through. And the top layer has pretty much disappeared into the roots, so that's really good that it's gone nicely into the roots that we've got there. Carry on working it through. Getting the soil well into the roots here. top the soil off. And now we'll water it through. It's coming straight out of the drainage holes at the bottom, so that's good. It's draining through nicely. Running through a little bit cloudy, we'll just wait for that to clear up. Running through quite clear now, little bits of dust particles coming through, but it's a lot clearer. We'll let that sit for a minute. We'll just run the rest through. And there we go. So that's the small orange tree started on its long journey to become a bonsai. We'll get this into a nice position so it can hopefully carry on growing and living and carry its journey along. So that's the end of part 2 of Citrus Saturday. Join me for part 3 when we'll be working on the larger orange tree, defoliating, repotting, cleaning it up and setting it on its way to its journey of being a bonsai. So I'm Scott Winard, this is Let's Do Bonsai. We'll see you again soon.